Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Julia Colon, and I am here with everyone from the Mind Mastery Collective.com. And I just want to welcome you and first thank you, Samantha, for allowing me the opportunity to host this Google Hangout. As always, it's an honor, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of this wonderful group of people. So those of you that are on the Google Hangout or on the website, which is Saturday Morning Mastermind, please participate. We ask that you participate. There's no judgment or anything here. You could just place your comments below, and you are invited and welcome to once again participate, and just put your thoughts and feel free to place your comments, and we'll be happy to discuss with you during or within this hour. So today we are going to be talking about, actually I just want everyone to just if they can introduce themselves, just for just take a moment to introduce yourselves and what you do. So I'm going to go on mute, so whoever would like to go first can go right ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kareem Mays, and I'm a young entrepreneur. Currently, I'm an IT professional, and I work at a financial company. But other than that, I have a dream of uniting entrepreneurs together here with Mr. Chris Peters. And that's really been my main goal, is to get people in a mastermind very similar to this and just help people share ideas and share skills so we can make this world better. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Catherine Clement out here in Boulder, Colorado. Glad everybody's here this morning. Good to see some new faces on the panel.
Okay, I'll jump out. I'm Dan Sissick. Oh, I think Donna was trying. I think she's having problems. Oh, okay. But anyway, I'm here. Glad to see we have a couple other people, new people on the panel. Chris and Kareem, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And I'm looking forward to diving into today's subject on verse 3 from Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Living the Wisdom of the Tao, with Julia as our host. Looking forward to what she has to share and what everybody else has to share.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Peters, and I'm the co-founder and co-host of our mastermind with Kareem Mays. And we're budding entrepreneurs, and we decided to create a mastermind together in a place where other entrepreneurs can come and be themselves, be free of judgment, and get their ideas known and get their ideas brainstormed. And I think that's very important. And I'm really excited to be here with you guys this morning. And I'm going to make an effort to be here as much as I can, because giving and receiving are the same, and I'm learning to give more and contribute more to different masterminds that I'm interested in. So thank you for having me today.
Awesome. Glad to have you, Chris and Kareem. It's good to have other masterminders on here as well. How am I sounding, guys? Still scratchy?
Yeah, unfortunately, it still sounds kind of robotic-y.
I think that's my computer. Okay, well, anyway, I'm Samantha Studebaker Carl, founder of Mindset Mastery Collective, and anyway, I'm glad to have you guys here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me at least a little bit, and otherwise, Julia, take it away. Or wait, no, we still have Sandy to introduce herself, and Donna. Jump out, guys.
Can anybody hear Sandy?
I can't, no.
No, not right now.
What about you, Donna? You want to try?
Yes, yeah, I'm going to introduce myself real quick, and I'm going to pop out because my dog is fussy this morning. I don't know, but yeah, I'm Donna Allen. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see everyone on the panel. It's nice to see the two guys here. I'll get familiar with your name there. But anyway, I'm Raleigh, North Carolina. Beautiful day here, and I'm just me. I'm happy. Nice to see everybody.
It was nice to see you too, Donna. Sandy, can you try now? No, it's not happening. Okay, well, I think you're saying you're going to shut down, right, and restart? Okay, all right.
She said she was going to log in and log back out.
All right, well, welcome everyone. It's nice to have new people on the panel, Chris and Kareem. So it's really nice to see you guys, and just to hear your words of inspiration and how you want to help others is very encouraging. So I just want to say thank you just for everyone here, and I'm glad to have you both on the panel. And so today, as we're going to continue with the book here, from Dr. Wayne Dyer, I hope you guys can see it. And it's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. We are actually going to go over the third verse. And for those of you who have the book and just having gone through it, it starts with page 14. And this book was really, well, this verse was very touching for me because it really described the ego, and what I got out of it is if we are not aware of how our ego can impact us, it can have detrimental effects on our lives, and sometimes we're not even aware of it. So there was a lot that I got out of this chapter. And I just asked that, you guys, on the the mindsetmasterycollective.com, just place your comments, and we'll, during the hour, we'll go through it as I mentioned before and try to help you as much as we can. There was some things that I highlighted in the book, and I'm going to ask the panel just to share excuse me, one second. Be quiet, okay? I need you to be quiet. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to ask that everyone share what their experience has been as far as how their ego has played a role in their life, and what this verse has learned anything from you. So hold on one second. I'll put this on mute.
Are you there, Sandy?
Do you hear me?
I
hear you. It's like a Verizon Wireless commercial. Can you hear me now?
I know.
6F.
Well, good morning. Is it okay to introduce myself now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Sandy Root here in sunny Miami, and it's good to see you all. I feel like it's been eons, so happy to be here, and great chapter. I'm looking forward to discussing it.
Glad you're back, girl. Julia,
Yeah.
you want me to read the verse?
Yes, please, Catherine.
Okay, let me get over here on another page. So this is verse 3. Putting a value on status will create contentiousness. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to be undisturbed. The sage governs by emptying minds and hearts, by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. Practice not doing. When action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place.
That, in the first part of the verse, what really stuck out to me is by not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. So this took me to where I was perceiving it to be as not to be bragging, or maybe, and if I'm wrong, just please correct me, or maybe telling people what it is that you want, maybe to be selective as to who you want to tell who you want in order to get the support you need. Because I've always been told, you need to find support. Get around like-minded people, those who are going to support you. So this took me back to, should I really tell what it is that I desire, what it is that I want to do, because I don't want to cause jealousy or envy in others to not be supportive of what it is that I want. Really, in reality, you are the one person that makes the decision and is supportive of whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is you want to do. But we like to have that connection with others. So was my perception of this, and I don't think there's a right or wrong, but I just need more clarification as far as what this verse really means. So if anybody...
There's no right or wrong. I'll just jump out and say something really quick. There's no right or wrong for sure. And these verses, like whatever you get out of it today, you might get something completely different out of it tomorrow. Like they are the mystery. And so I think that's a fascinating viewpoint of it that you have, because that never occurred to me when I was reading it. That's why I love getting together with people. So I'm going to hush now because I know other people are waiting to get out here. But
we have more than enough time, Catherine. You can continue.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a fresh viewpoint that I didn't have either. So I like that. I was going more like with Wayne, what Wayne was saying, more of it's not like you have to push or force stuff. I think a lot of people when they're working or running their business, they can be very pushful or forceful, but when we're really serving and selfless and coming from a place of really wanting to help others, then things just fall into place. And I think we all have experience where maybe someone sends us a message that's very pushy or emaily about pushy or forceful about their business, and it turns us off. And if they're really genuinely caring about us, then we're more interested in, oh, well, what are you doing? And then we want to know more about them and what they're doing. So it's more of a pure and selfless way of being, and then it just flows that so much more naturally rather than pushing and forcing. That's what I got out of it, and just being a more of service rather than what can I get, what can I get, what can I get.
What I got out of it is, if you take interest in other people, and if I'm taking interest in what you're doing and what other people are about and what their life's about, what their struggles is about, what makes them happy, what makes them get up in the morning, what makes them really define their existence, and I take an interest in that, they'll start to take an interest in me, rather than me saying, oh, look at my status, look at what I've accomplished, look at what I've done. When you reverse the tables and see what other people are about, you start to make a real connection with people.
I agree with you on that, because everybody wants to be valued for who they are and what they're about, and it goes back to, because nowadays in the mindset of dealing with even what's advertised and what's thrown out at us, it's so much of keeping up with everybody else, and everybody's got this mindset that we have to be what everybody else thinks is supposed to be the norm, rather than showing our true selves. And by going out and respecting that and valuing, really placing value on the other person as a person, I believe that is okay. Can you guys hear me? Because my computer was acting up for a minute.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just stopped there. What was your thought?
Oh, well, my computer did something. I was like, what did it do? But anyway, it's, really getting down to the core of people, valuing the other person and who they are and what they're about. And placing that value there and having them feel it and understand that you're there with them, not like you were saying, just this flashy thing or whatever, or you know, what society out there throws at us is what we're supposed to be and things like that. And I think when people get that genuinely, they feel it and then they resonate with you, and then that makes them want to in turn respond back, just like you were saying. It gives you something to work forward and go forward with.
Um, oh, go ahead. If this lady wants to go ahead, go ahead. She unmuted before me. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, it's the oldest rule in the universe, give and ye shall receive. I mean, it took a long time for me to really understand what giving was all about. And for me, it's about giving with no expectation, and I'm learning to do that and enjoy doing that. And I understand that a mastermind principle, in my experience, is really all about and listening to everyone's ideas and beliefs, because everyone's right, nobody's wrong, and we all have different perceptions and different experiences in life. And I think it's important to remember that if you're around positive people and you're around good people, then their ideas can help you. And it could just be something small. It doesn't even have to be monumental, but I think really exploring what people say to you and their opinions is very, very helpful in personal development. And I've learned a lot in the last year of working with Kareem on what we're doing. Well, I guess it's been about 9 months. And I still have a long way to go with certain things, and I think we all do. And I think it's just important to be there to support each other through those times and love one another. If you love your people you're networking with and you care about them, then you're going to succeed. It's what it is. You have to be genuine in this industry. Whatever you're doing, you have to be authentic and
Yes, I agree, Chris, with everyone here, and thank you for your perception on this one verse. Um, Besides the people in our lives and who we choose to have in our lives, this verse or this chapter also discusses material possessions, and I just want to quote something from this chapter. And it states here, the Tao recommends refraining from this kind of contented way of life, which leads to thievery, contentiousness, and confusion. Rather than seeking more, the Tao practice of gratitude is what leads us to the contented life. We must replace personal desires with the Tao-centered question, how may I serve? And I found this very pleasing to me as I start to change my life and put my business as a priority. And when I think about these questions, I think about how it has been in the past for me, and it helped me to make decisions based on how I'm going to serve, because I find that I'm very peaceful when I'm serving others, and when I'm really true to myself and what it is that I want to do. I'm not focused on what others are doing, or I'm trying to be creative and be original, like Dan was saying, which creates an authenticity in me that I can say I'm very proud of. And so is there anyone in here that ever asked the question, how can I serve? Or what is their perception of that question when it comes to their business or their personal life or anything that they're trying to accomplish? Is there anyone who wants to share in that statement or in that question, because it really had a profound effect on me?
Yeah, I really love that, asking that question. I had posted on Facebook probably a few months ago, and I've read something else. Maybe it was another Wayne Dyer book about being of and really asking every day, like first thing in the morning, how can I be of service today? And that was related to my business at the time I was looking at, rather than how can I get? How can I be of service? And really asking myself that every day. And I could see a big shift in the way I was interacting with people, and even just throughout the day in general. Being out in the world, if you're in service, if you're thinking, how can I be in service rather than what can I get, it just changes the way you act and behave in the world. Like, just saying hi to a stranger on the street or helping somebody in some way. Just asking that question can really change your perception in the way you're being in the world and in your business. So, yeah, it's something I try to remember to ask myself every day, and to just be in that space of gratitude, because being gratitude, of course, it makes us content with what we have in our life, and rather than always reaching out for what else can I get, but rather what can I be grateful for in my life. And then when we're in service and feeling gratitude, that things just come out of nowhere, like they just flow in, rather than having to force the getting of, I forget your friend's name, Kareem, was saying about the giving and receiving. They're the same thing. And when we're giving in those ways and being of service and feeling grateful, things just flow in, and we don't have to think about it or force them to come in. They just come. So, yeah, I love that question. Thanks for bringing it up, Julia. How may I serve?
Hey, Julia, I'll jump out on this again. I'm always full of thoughts. I agree with what Sandy was saying, but two, I also look at it this way. I think sometimes we have to go a little deeper with, besides just saying, how can I serve today, being a little more purposeful, whether that be in our business or whether that being in just the everyday thing. To being, recognizing who comes across our path and how, we might be able to better serve, and recognizing what they need to be served, not just, a smile or something like that. But I think sometimes we have key opportunities and sometimes we miss them because we're not being purposeful enough with that genuine service to recognize it too, and finding that sometimes somebody gets placed in our path that we really can serve, and we don't even realize we let that go by. And I think I'm learning that a little bit more, that more and more opportunities are coming up for me to do that, and I'm oblivious to it. And I think that's part of what I'm learning more, and seeing this and going through this, because I didn't get a chance to really dive into it, but just in reading some of the comments, that's what jumps out to me on this, that learning to be a little, start the day and knowing how to serve, but then being purposeful with it, where it can really have an impact on the people that you are serving.
I really liked what you said there, Dan, because everybody needs to be able to serve so they can help others and show them that the value of serving is really bringing value to other people's lives, helping them go from one place where they were at and then changing their whole lives. And to me, that's the greatest feeling ever, to hear someone say, you can enter a blank here, you saved my life, you saved my health, you saved my relationships, you saved me from, if you want to go to even extreme, my life was down in the dumps and I feel like I didn't have anything to live for. And then you serve and you help bring that person to a point where they really can find meaning in life, and you really raise their consciousness. And by doing that, you can really change the world. I think, if it's okay if I can quote Zig Ziglar, you can have everything you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. I think he captured the essence of serving there very well.
I had something I wanted to add. Hopefully am I sounding any better, guys? A little bit, maybe? No.
It's still kind of roboty.
Are you able to even catch a whole thought from me? I mean,
yeah, I can hear you. Just
verbally,
breaking up.
There's no point in me even trying. But one thing that I struggled with when I was a young person, now I went to a Christian school, and they always were telling us to put everyone, everything before ourselves, and only give, basically of ourselves to other people, right? That put everything, put God, put your family, put your husband, put everything before yourself. And I struggled with that for a long time, because it was that kind of same thing. You should be asking yourself, how can you serve the world and be the best person that you can be? And I struggled with that because I had all these things going on in my own head of, my desires and what I wanted out of life and all of this. And I felt like I was supposed to put all of that aside and not care about any of it and just focus on serving other people, right? And so I struggled with that for a long time. But what I came to realize as I got older is that they were failing to teach us a key point in that equation. And it was that when you truly look inside of yourself and determine, who it is you are, who you came to this earth to be, who God made you to be, and you follow that and ask the question, how can I serve in that capacity? Then not only are you serving everyone in the world and serving your family and serving everything, serving God, you're also doing it in the best way that you personally were made to do it. And and one of the lessons that really touched me the most on that is when I was reading the book by Wayne Dyer. It's called I Can See Clearly Now. It's his memoir, and he's talking about his journey from, as he determines what his life purpose is and how he fulfilled that throughout his life. And his biggest thing that he always knew inside of himself was that he was a teacher, and that as he went through his journey of being, a teacher in a college, and then eventually becoming a spiritual teacher and a personal development teacher and leader and all of that kind of stuff, is that he kept asking him, how can I serve in the capacity of being a teacher and spreading the message of self-reliance and self-growth and self-empowerment and that sort of thing. And so when I started really thinking about that message, is you have to kind of find that internal inspiration of who you are and what you're all about, and then ask the question, how can I serve in that capacity? Because then everything comes together and you become inspired in ways you never even thought were possible, rather than feeling like you're being forced to do something because so-and-so said you had to. I don't know, that's a powerful lesson that I learned.
I like that. Can I touch on
I love
something?
that. Go ahead, Kareem.
What I was going to say is, you mentioned spiritual teachers. All the spiritual teachers that I know, and this could range from Jesus to Buddha to all the spiritual teachers that's a cute dog. All the spiritual teachers that I know of, that I've read about, they didn't force people to serve, but they encouraged people to raise their consciousness, to serve others, to be a servant of others. And we can see very clearly that they were servants of the people back in those times. And I'm just going to add that to what Sam was saying, because it's not necessarily in the religious sense that I'm looking for, but it's in the spiritual teachings themselves and the spiritual truths themselves about serving other people and about helping people who are having a tough time in life, to see that today that it's not going to be that bad, because the next day, tomorrow, can be better if you'll just go out and help your neighbor.
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what Samantha and Kareem were saying. When it came to this question, how may I serve? In the past, and I thank God for personal development and the coaching and all the good things that have happened in my life, that made me ask the question to myself, how may I serve myself in terms of what makes me happy, what brings me joy, what are the things that I like to do. And it was almost rediscovering who I truly am based on what my past, of what Samantha was saying that we're taught to put others in front of ourselves, that we are, you know, we're not a priority. And that's how it was for me growing up. And now it's, how can I serve myself? Once again, what brings me joy? What brings me excitement? What makes my day? Because when I am serving myself, I just have such a joy that it protrudes out to everyone. And I like being around myself now, and it's just the same as people like to be around me too. And it's not like I'm looking for validation from anyone. I'm looking to who I am. How can I serve myself? And it's just made me such a better person, that even in my work, and it just flusters out and it shows, and it helps me. When I'm serving myself, I'm also serving others, and the goal and the desire that I want has to come within me in order to see the change on the outside. So this was a really good question for me, and I'm glad that, you know, it was asked in the book.
I want to add real quick, Roger Leidig put a post on our page a couple of days ago. He added to our discussion. I just want to read what he wrote. He put a Stephen Covey quote that said, "Less is more and more is less." And he says, "It seems like when we push hard to achieve and gain things that are material or based on other people's expectations, we will be disappointed probably sooner than later, and the result will be a more stressful life, won't it?" And then he says, "A good mentor suggested to me that it would be good to change my goals to desires and then work on the things that I can influence and trust God, the universe, for the results. For me, it seems like I'm much more content when I approach life like this, and I actually achieve this by doing less and accomplishing more." And you know, and I kind of responded to his comment a little bit, just to expand a little bit on the difference between goals and desires of what I think that he was trying to say. And you know, when we talk about goals, it's more like the things that come from our ego versus desires of what we feel like inspired from within, and that is more of, you know, coming from spirit, you know. And so when we can switch over from trying to come from the ego side of it, of, you know, okay, I'm making this list of goals, I'm going to accomplish all these things, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to make $1 million, I'm going to have the best awesome car, all that kind of stuff, then it's kind of like a forceful thing. It's like you're trying to force it to happen. You're working your butt off, you're trying to make all these things happen, and it just is hard. Whereas when you come from that inspired part of you, and you're asking that, how can I serve and be the most awesome person that I'm here meant to be, is that all of a sudden then things become easier and you become inspired to take these actions. And I think when we were in one of the previous discussions, I think maybe it was last week or the week before, Jason was kind of talking about, you know, we were talking about the difference between action and allowing and that sort of thing, and how you know, he was mentioning about, you know, you can't just not do anything, and of course I'm like, yeah, absolutely, it's not about doing nothing, it's about allowing the spirit or the universe or the energy to speak through you, and then you follow that inspiration and take those actions versus trying to force it all the time from your ego. That's my thought.
Go ahead, Catherine. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that in my life, the way I kind of look at things is that by serving other people, you know, all you guys out there, and this may seem like a very egotistical viewpoint, I don't know, but I look at other people as aspects of myself. So when I'm serving myself, obviously I'm serving them, and when I'm serving them, I'm serving myself, because we're all one, you know. When I come across people that I'm having difficulty with, I try to see them as an aspect of myself that I haven't loved yet, you know, and it's an amazing opportunity to learn how to love, but what it boils down to is to learn how to love that aspect of myself. So it does kind of, you know, it all comes around, and if you can just, like everyone has said, instead of having all of these materialistic goals, there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things and wanting comfort. I do want to say that there's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to live in a cave, and you know, but when we lead with those, I have to have this to make me happy, I think that's where it comes in. When you base your happiness and your joy and your contentment on having to have those things instead of just being in that state of gratitude for what you already have, because we are all, anybody that's on this panel right now, excuse me, is very, very blessed. You know, just to have, we may have $25 in the bank, excuse me, or you know, not have the best housing situation or whatever it is, but we're able to get online and talk to each other, and that is such a blessing, and more than many, many people in the world have. So yeah, I guess that's about all I had to say.
Well, that's a beautiful point, Catherine, that when we are serving others, we are serving ourselves, and I believe that too, and everybody is a part of me as well, so I'm glad you brought that point in. I was reminded of a statistic I read recently. I don't know if it's really related, but it's the millennial generation, which I guess is after, it's the newer generation after Generation X, I believe, and they're the ones that were born in like the 1980s to the early 2000s. And I read a statistic that this group, this generation, is more focused on having experiences rather than having material possessions. So they're not, you know, going after houses or cars or all this material stuff. They're more wanting to have experiences, so they're spending their money on, you know, travel or whatever it is that's giving them an experience rather than having stuff, which for me, I was like, wow, that's cool, because, you know, I sort of live that way, you know, very simple, because I'd rather spend my money on experiences rather than collecting all material stuff. And so I don't know if that maybe we'll see a shift in how, you know, this younger generation is maybe serving others, or you know, if they're spending their money on traveling and experiences, you know, I think that brings a different qualities to person rather than going after belonging. So I just thought it was interesting to see, you know, maybe we're going back to this place where the materialistic isn't so strong for people. So it'll just be interesting to see in the future. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Sandy and Catherine, for your input. That was, deserving yourself is, like, I agree with both of you that it is an important factor when it comes to our lives. So I really, really appreciate your input on that. It just changed a lot of perspectives or perceptions of what I was thinking. And I agree with everyone, every single person on the panel. And I'm not sure if it was you, Sandy, or Catherine, but you spoke about happiness and making yourself happy. Someone did. And I just wanted to go back to the verse and state that Wayne did talk about happiness. And in this chapter, he says, remind yourself daily that there is no way to happiness. Rather, happiness is the way. And I was like, okay, happiness is the way. Let me dig a little deeper into that. And what makes me happy? And he mentions by staying in harmony on the path of the Tao, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. All the contentment you could ever dream of will begin to flow into your life. The right people, the means to finance where you're headed, and the necessary factors will come together. Stop pushing yourself, Leo Tazu would say, and feel gratitude and awe for what it is. And I did look a little bit back into the previous verse in verse 2, and it took me back to where I think he was describing an otter, if I'm correct. Like the otter doesn't look at, he's just, in the water, just going with the flow of the water. He's, it is what it is. And in sense, the gratitude of what we have is, and I can only speak for myself, but I feel very grateful for the things that I have in life, like Catherine was saying. And when I say feel, I mean I feel I'm so grateful for the things that have happened to me over the last year, that I make it a point to be thankful every day, because it's how I feel and it's who I am. And I'm not so focused on the materialistic things that I have, because those can come and go, but grateful for my health, grateful for my family, things that you can't put a price on. Thankful for my spiritual relationship that I have with my Lord and Savior. And like as it mentions in the book, it just seems like everything is flowing into place for me without me having to worry about the materialistic things or the things that I have or the things that I want. And I just want to know if anyone got any experience out of gratitude and want to share with the world what they are grateful for.
Can everyone hear me there? This is probably going to be all I say on the panel today. I've kind of got some distractions there, but this
we can hear you.
Okay, great. This will be my beginning and my end of what I'm going to say, okay? The really thing that is like the Tao, I'm like you, I may not pronounce his name just right there, but let me say this first before I get this. There's one reading here that really stood out to me. Everybody made some good points on the panel, and it's like he reminds us of nature, okay? That sometimes you regret the day, you wish you could go back to the day you were born, although we know we cannot do that. But he's reminding us not to forget that we were born into this, this wherever we're at here in the little peons. We're just really little peons. And when you come to somebody, you appreciate the fact that you need to, like, you're serving, okay? That I have few mentors that I'm surrounded with daily, that actually I was attracted to their mentorship but just because of their serving. And there's so many people on here, like I said, it's the intentions, the heart has got to be pure. What is my intentions? What is my intentions for being here? What is my purpose? He's asking us to ask our question, go inside. Why are you here? You're not here just to be. And he's saying, let us speak. Let me just read this and I'm going to get off, okay? Let us spend one day as deliberately as nature, just like our pets are around us, okay? The trees, the water, the everything, okay? He's asking us to remind ourselves of that and not be thrown off track. Oh, I'm so guilty of this. Now listen. And not be thrown off the track by every nutshell. And my father, and I think, guys, I have to slow down, okay? I get a little, I'm not hypey, but if you see me this is just my nature, okay? My personality. I have one mentor says, can a leopard change his spot? Yes, a leopard can change his spots. Okay, there's my phone ringing now. But anyway, I don't see distractions, guys, distractions. Everything is in the now. It's in the be. It's like, my father would say, don't be distracted by every little whim, because I was a farmer's daughter. I think, and thank you, Samantha. Let me just say thank you for putting that profile in there. I'm sure she'll get around to everyone. That's just my life in a nutshell, because being a farmer's daughter, they teach us it's hard work, but it's simple. And the Tao, Dr. Wayne Dyer is saying here that exactly what my father would tell me in my early years, to say, you just don't follow the crowd. Find out where the crowd is going before you follow the crowd. It's just words of wisdom, okay? And he says here, wing that falls, okay, let me get back to this, by every nutshell and mosquito, wing that falls on the rails. If the engine whistles, let it whistle till it is horse for the pains, okay? If the bell rings, why should we run? Have we always been regretting that I was not as the day I was born? I mean, really, everybody has said some great things here, and this is going to be my last comment on this. When I first started reading this, I'm going to be honest with you. I judged this book. I really did. I judged it, and I had to forgive myself because this book is not taking anything away from our creator as we know him, our beliefs. Everybody's got all of that, but he's just basically coming back and saying, "Hey guys, don't forget you're here. You may be here for just I'm here maybe just be for you guys this morning. I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to take anything away from you guys. I'm not here to take away anything from you. I'm here to say, how can I help you? How can I serve you?" And my heart is pure. I mean, I've just admitted I judged this particular book, because it just blew me off. Now I'm back on track now. Everybody have a good day. I'm done. Love you.
That was really powerful. Thank you. That was really, really powerful, Donna. And I wanted to touch on that because I would help people with public speaking anxiety, and I still do. And one thing I try and tell them is be present, be in the moment. What's going on out there? What just happened 20 minutes ago? What happened 2 years ago? Don't worry about that now. You can deal with that whenever. But now just focus on your audience, your message, focus on what you want to say to people, which is what I'm doing right now. And to take from one of my personal heroes, Bruce Lee, and I think the Tao also goes with this, is just be like water, just flow. Don't try and control all the external circumstances. Don't try and control the circumstances that you don't like or that you want to change. Just be like water, just flow. And by doing that, by being present in the moment and just be like water, my friend, I believe is his actual quote, you can really make changes in your life and the lives of others for the better.
Hey guys, what I'm grateful for is my brother Kareem Mays. We are best friends. I'd give him the shirt off my back. He's been there for me during a really tough time I had in September, and I'll explain that some other time. And he's been there for me financially too, because I don't make as much money as he does, and he's been putting money into our expenses for our business and stuff a lot more than I have in the course that I'm taking with him as well. He's helping me pay for that, and I really could not do this without him, and I think he's an amazing individual, and I love him, and I've never met anyone like him. I met him through another program I was doing, and he's like one of the coolest people I know. He's caring. He'd do anything for anybody. He doesn't have a malicious bone in his body, and I think the world needs more people like him. So I'm very grateful for my bro and what we're doing together, and for everybody that has said some really powerful words of inspiration this morning, and it's opened me up to a whole new perspective on certain things that I feel I'm lacking in my own life. So that's what I'm grateful for. And my mom, of course, my sister, and all that stuff too. And the roof over my head and food, all that. Thanks.
I'll jump out again, and I'm gonna say I'm grateful for this mastermind group, because when I was looking and trying to find a group that I could really join and feel comfortable and really a part of, this group did that for me, and they opened their arms to me, and they really welcomed me in, and made me feel like what I had to say and what I felt and what I was sharing was very important, and didn't make me feel like I was just whatever. And so I'm really grateful, because it has helped me to grow, and I continue to get so much out of the others serving me through this mastermind. So I want to say thank you all, and I'm very grateful to all of you. So thank you.
You're welcome, Dan. And I want to go back to what Kareem was saying about being present in the moment. And one of the things that I learned when it came to be present in the moment is whether I'm being uh, proactive, non-proactive, if that's the correct word. But there were many times that I would wake up and not want to do anything. And I'm sure everyone could relate to that, especially when we're off from work and you only have 2 days left and you just want to stay home and do nothing. But unfortunately, we have responsibilities that we have to do. So I'm a human being. I feel certain ways some days, and I realize that when I'm my life and the things that I want to do, um, the day just seems to continue to improve for me. For instance, there's days that I just want to stay in bed and not especially on Saturday mornings. But I know that this is very beneficial to me, so I have to make the decision. Am I going to be proactive and be a part of this wonderful group, or do I, be non-proactive and just stay in bed? So really, how you feel, if you can change it, why not take the opportunity to change it and just make an impact on your daily life, one day at a time, and you'll start to see great improvements. And if you can look back from where you were a year ago to where you are today, you will see significant improvement. So I just wanted to shout that out to piggyback on what Kareem was saying about being present in the moment. And being present in the moment is being proactive in your life and the people that are around you. Just make a conscious effort to do it. I want to, because we got like about 8 more minutes left to this, and I'm sorry about the birds in the background. But in the end of this verse, Wayne talks about money and the spending of money, and making a conscious effort of where our funds are going and listening to our inner guidance instead of the I need to get this, I need to get that, based on, and this is how I took it, based on what society is doing and what Donna said about following others. And in the book, he says, watch for an opportunity today to notice that you're planning on buying something. Choose to do the tale and listen for guidance. I wish I knew this like a year ago because I spent so much money on stuff that I haven't even finished. Be grateful that you have the choice to make the purchase. Then practice listening to yourself and not doing. I took that as not being impulsive. And through your feelings, the dial will reveal the way for you in that moment. Trust it. And as the year has gone by, when it came, I'm not afraid to spend money, but I want to spend my money in a way that is going to be beneficial to me, in a way that I can help others. And I just wonder, what were your thoughts on this last bit when it came to spending?
I think that's a powerful realization there, Julia. I think that it kind of comes back to what it was talking about in the beginning of the verse about putting a value on status and possessions and overvaluing possessions and that sort of thing. Because when we take that moment to really examine, okay, this buying opportunity that we have in front of us, is we can kind of think about it and be like, okay, am I buying this because I'm trying to, look good, or do I just want it because I think I want it and I don't really have a real good reason for it? Or it's kind of just like taking that moment and evaluating the reason that you're buying it, and is it because you have this idea that possessions are going to make you happy, or is it going to serve some necessity or some purpose in your life? And I think that this is kind of a key thing that this verse is trying to get you to do, is to really evaluate where you're coming from in not only your purchase of items and accumulation of stuff and that sort of thing, but also to kind of change your focus on where you are hoping to gain your happiness and content from. And you know, so that's kind of a huge thing, because if you're sitting here and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get this 80-inch television because I think it's gonna make me happy, you know, then obviously it's not going to make you happy. You're going to have this thing, and it's a big old television, and you're going to spend more time watching the idiot box. But, you know, I mean, is that really going to make you happy? There was what was it? Oh, there was a quote. I wanted to read that. Where was that? Hold on. Actually, I think I have it on the blog page. Let me find it really quick. Hopefully I'm still sounding okay. Oh, let's scroll back up here.
Yeah, you're sounding great, Samantha.
Okay, great. All right. Says, okay, he says, you may have a long list of goals that you believe will provide you with contentment when they're achieved. And of course, we could say a long list of stuff that you might want. Yet, if you examine your state of happiness in this moment, you'll notice that the fulfillment of some of these previous ambitions didn't create a sense of enduring, or an enduring sense of joy. And you can kind of look at that as possessions too. Did all this stuff that I've already got so far, did it make me happy? And so when you kind of bring in that thought into the moment of your buying purchase, or your potential purchase, and realize, okay, you know, all this stuff didn't make me happy. I need to change my focus and figure out, okay, what is going to make me happy? And I love what I love Catherine's example in the discussion where she was talking about changing your focus. And of course, it wasn't so much on possessions; it was actually about her health condition. And I want to read that too, because I think this is a really powerful reminder or suggestion, or whatever you want to call it, of changing your focus. Example, that's the word I need. Is that she says, let me get to it. Where is it? Okay, she said, dealing with physical challenges and pain steals many people's happiness, but it appears we are going to make it through and live each day, at least until the last one. And if we are in chronic pain, and she says, don't call it that, we can either live it in pain and be miserable, or live it in pain and be happy. You have that choice. I thought that was really powerful. And she says, we can either believe the thought that this is permanent and there's nothing that can help, or we can believe that truthfully, even though it seems like it could be and our doctor said it would be, nobody really knows that when we wake up the next day, the pain will still be there. There is that possibility that something could change throughout the night, and for whatever reason, we could wake up pain-free. It could happen. What are you focused on? And that is a huge thing right there, because if you're focused on, you know, the pain, or you're focused on your lack, then you're going to cause yourself unhappiness and discomfort. You're going to cause yourself to be more in pain and more upset because you don't have stuff. Or, you know, whereas if you change your focus to the gratitude side of it, or you change your focus to the possibility that the pain might go away. Julia, you have something going on Facebook that I absolutely love, and it's your what's your group called? It's the daily, I can't remember what you call it, your gratitude.
The daily success rituals.
Daily success rituals. I absolutely love that, because you guys, you're all in there focused on the things that you're grateful for every single day. And when you focus on those things that you're grateful for, you automatically create more contentment in your life. You create more happiness in your life. And that, I think, is kind of the main key of this particular verse, is changing your focus to be so that you can create more contentment in your life. So that's kind of my final thoughts. I know I went on for a while.
It's okay.
Hey, Samantha.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you for having us here. I just wanted to get that in before you shut her down. That I'm going to try to be here every Saturday, because this was incredible, and you ladies are some amazing individuals, and Dan too, and I like this a lot, and I will be coming back. So I want to thank you for having myself and my fellow brother Kareem Mays on the show with you guys today. Thank you.
And it's an honor to have you here, Chris.
Yeah, I just want to say the same. Thank you very much. And I really enjoyed contributing and hearing from everybody else, learning, because that's the point of life, contributing and learning and just growing every day.
I want to say one more thing. I want to take us back to coming into the moment and asking, because so many people live their lives through their mind, always trying to figure out things with the mind. And the mind will really screw you up. I mean, I'm just I'm just putting it out there. You know, your mind can go crazy and it can think all these thoughts that can cause these emotions, and it can actually paralyze you. I mean, the mind is good. I'm not saying get rid of the mind. I mean, it's wonderful, and you know, it helps us understand things, but it can go, it's almost like its own person, and it can go off on its own little tangent, and you really have to reel that in and come back into the moment. And when you're deciding what you're going to do for the day, how may I serve? Don't try to figure it out with your mind. Actually come into the present moment and ask that question, and then just sit in the stillness of your heart. Just sit there and wait for the answer. Don't let your mind tell you. And once you've learned how to do this, you'll recognize if it's your mind answering or if it's whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, creator, spirit. You can look at it spiritually, religiously, I don't care, it's all the same thing. When you sit in your heart in that stillness and you hear that very soft, still voice telling you how to proceed, whether to make that purchase, whether to join that business, that's what you need to be listening to, not your monkey brain. Thank you, Chris and Kareem. We're so glad to have you, and so glad everyone joined us today. It's great to have a full panel. I love it, and I hope everyone has an awesome week. See you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It was an honor and a blessing to just be here. And my end quote for the day is to what Catherine was saying with the mind. You know, as children, we're programmed to think a certain way, and we carry those on as we get older. And it does have an effect on us, whether good or bad. And I just want to let you know that just like a computer where you can change the coding to a computer, the coding can be changed in the mind also. If your gut instinct is telling you, this is not right, something's wrong, I'm not liking this, listen to that gut instinct instead of the mind, and sit in peace and let, like Catherine said, God, the universe, spirit, whatever it is, guide you and be present in that moment so that you can listen to what the heart is saying, because change is a possibility. It is. It can happen, and it starts with you. Okay, Samantha. So I think that's it. Does anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah, I'll jump
Okay,
out.
Dan.
Sorry, I was waiting for everybody else to finish. So, I was going to say, just piggybacking off what everybody else has said, and I still am going back to this one verse that you read earlier. Remind yourself daily that there is no way to happiness, rather, happiness is the way. And that's really hitting me because it is a choice. It is, happiness is, yes, part feeling, but if you let everything else and, that's going on take you out of your happiness, then you can't serve effectively either. But if you can learn to make the decision that you're going to be happy and step out in that happiness in the first place, you can change your own day basically towards the better and be impacted that way. And then that way you can impact others and go out there with that purpose and intent to serve others.
I want to end it on a quote with Buddha. A person walked up to Buddha and said, I want to be happy. He said, take out the I. The I is ego. I said, okay. And he said, take out the want. That is desire. He said, now look what you're left with. Happiness.
That was powerful, Dream. I love that. Just be happy. Just be happy. You get the choice, right? Okay, so did you want to wrap up, Julia?
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for sharing their thoughts and their ideas and their perceptions of this verse. I took so much value from it, and I just want to thank everyone. And for those of you that are on with us live on the Google Hangout, remember we are reading Dr. I hope you can see this. Dr. Wayne Dyer, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. Next week we will be discussing verse 4, and I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone again next week. And as always, place your comments, and we will get back to you. Thank you so much. We'll reply to your comments. Thank you again, and thank you, Samantha. I'm so honored to be a part of this group, and thank you for creating it.